All right, I'm Smig, and I'm here with our July 4th, our 4th of July, our Independence Day Shrine of Secrets for the Twisted Masquerade 7th year anniversary event. My mug is blocking the 25% off, but the perks are still 1,500 iridescent shards, not 2,000, so they still are 25% off. And we may have a shorter one for you here because we kind of know right away what we're going to say about these perks, but we got some interesting ones. So, killer wise, we have a Freddy the Nightmare perk, Blood Warden. Basically, as soon as the exit gates are opened, Blood Warden is activated. The orders of any survivors located in those exit areas are revealed to you. And then once per match, when Blood Warden is active, you can call upon the entity to block both exits for 60 seconds when you hook someone. So the idea here is get them to open the gates and then either throw somebody up on a hook just to buy yourself 60 extra seconds of game and see if they're hanging out by the exits. Or if you wait for that end game collapse, a countdown, and there's only 60 seconds left, you can lock them all in here and get a 4-man or whatever it may be sacrifice off of Blood Warden. So definitely a fun perk, very situational, right? And a lot of times, if you're kind of playing in a certain way that hints you might have it, survivors are going to be leery and they're either not going to open the gates until they're ready to go, or after you hook someone, or they're just going to disappear as soon as possible, leave as soon as possible, and not give you the chance to catch them there. But if you have some altruistic swifts, you can definitely have some fun with this. For that reason, since it is so situational, this is going to fit in our kind of meme tier. We have it as the third tier, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the third worst. This perk is very strong. It's just very situational, and really, you're going to run it when you're just looking to have some fun, have some laughs, get some people. So it's probably never going to be a meta perk, but it is kind of strength wise that kind of tier below, and it can be a ton of fun. And it's not a trash perk, so definitely a fun one. I will say, Freddy is a licensed killer. Him with Quentin. So if you don't want to buy Freddy, which right now I can't really, unless you're a fan, recommend it. He's in a weird place, not real strong, uh, not really super fun to play. Just because he loses power in the end game when some of his perks shine. He's in a tough place, but I enjoy him, but not a lot of people do. You don't see a lot of Freddies, but definitely if you don't want to spend the money, Blood Warden's a good pickup with your iridescent shards. That way you don't have to spend real life currency, real cash in order to grab that. Then we have here, where's our second killer perk? It's down here. Kind of across from each other like they always are. So we have Shadowborn, which is a Wraith perk. And the first thing we'll say about this one is Wraith is a free killer. You can pick it up with blood points. So unless you really just don't want to play Wraith and really want this perk, you're probably going to unlock it with BPs. I, for the longest time, was one that just didn't like playing Wraith. So I might have been in the camp that would have just bought the perks, but I did eventually unlock them. But Shadowborn basically gives you 15-degree wider vision than normal. So it's an FOV perk. Some people swear by it, right? When killers like Oni, Blight, I'm trying to think who else people rush around the map with. There's some especially long time killer mains that just absolutely swear by this perk. They like the extra 15 degrees, especially when they're going for big plays with killers like that can down people fast. They just want that extra view to catch survivors and keep chaining stuff together. I know Behavior has said that there's a FOV slider coming up in the near future, so I'm wondering how they're going to redo this perk. It's a very niche perk, right? I don't want to call it trash because there are some very good players that use this, but we're going to do it anyway. It's one of those ones that you're dedicating a whole perk to a little bit extra view. Put a trash with a question mark. Some people have been playing with it forever. I know nurse players that use it as well. So even if there are great players that swear by it, it's still probably not going to make your top 4, and you can get it for free. So we're going to say spend BP if you want, but we're not going to spend harder than iridescent shards on that. So this is more meme, but maybe a pickup. So this one we like killer wise. You might want to pick that up. Lots of fun. So now we're going to the survivor perks. So we got 2 here for you, as always. First one is Lithe. It's a Fang Ming perk. So if you're one of our console players and you got Fang for free, you can definitely unlock this with BP. But what it does is an exhaustion perk. When you perform a rushed vault, you run or sprint at 150% speed for 3 seconds, and you're exhausted for 40. Probably the best or second best. I usually put sprint burst ahead. Lithe's a little easier to use, but probably one of, if not the best, exhaustion perks. Um, if you're on console, we will say MVP, but otherwise, this one is definitely a meta perk. This is a top tier perk. Absolutely a pickup if you don't have it or don't want to unlock Fang and all her perks. So, absolutely a solid perk. You're going to want to have that one in your repertoire. And then our last perk here, our last survivor perk. I don't know why we're clicking around weird here, but it's up the ante. It's an ace perk. So if you want to get ace, what is ace? Ace and the hag is the uh, setup that you get him in. It's one of those ones you get, what, 12% when there's 4 survivors left, and 9, 6, 3 with extra luck for each survivor remaining. I said that really weird, but it's 3% for each survivor still alive. So maximum of 12, minimum of 3. It's going to be very niche, right? This is going to be, if you're going for luck builds, you're trying to do some tricky stuff there. Maybe the whole squad's running it, but overall, it's not one I can really recommend. I'd spend BP if you want it, but it's one of those ones where if you're running luck builds, it might not even make the 4 that you're running, right? You might run some other stuff. There are some other perks that deal with luck. You can run some add-ons, some offerings, I mean. So there's other things you could run if you're doing like sloppy butcher plays, that kind of stuff. So this is a maybe meme perk, but you're probably not wanting to pick this one up. And if you do, MVPs on Ace, he is a behavior IP, so do it that way. So we got 2 that I definitely consider. One, this is like an A plus perk. You got to pick this one up. Blood Warden can be a lot of fun if you are predominantly or even half-time a killer player. You just want some fun stuff to play. And the other one's very situational. Pick those up if that just screams out to you as something that you want to play. But otherwise, I would pass on those. We'll show 2 quick builds, and then we'll kind of pop back into here. So Lithe can kind of plug into a. We'll go to killer first since we're clicking on the wrong thing. Blood Warden can work in a lot of different situations with different killers, but just one we were having fun with that we absolutely 100% ripped off from Red's Gaming Gears. So shout out to him. This was one of his builds. I don't know if it was a viewer build or one that he came up with himself, but we'll give credit where credit's due. But something like this, right? You're using Blood Warden and Noed for that end game with Ranker, trying to get some Moris, and then you have Game of Foot, which helps transfer Obsession, so maybe you can get multiple Moris. It's just a full-on late game build with the black box as well, using Freddy's perk on Freddy. It's just a lot of fun, right? There's going to be games where this just falls apart. You don't have anybody dead. Maybe you have one person dead, and then they open the gates and they leave. This hopefully helps stop that a little bit. But there are also going to be games where they're trying to get a 4-man out. They feel like you're not playing real well. You're kind of a baby killer because you didn't do a whole lot all game. And then boom, you get them. So a lot of fun. You can run this build on a lot of different killers. You can just throw Blood Warden in with Noed and just try to get a quick down as soon as they pop the gates, throw them on a hook, and see what you can do, scramble to get some more kills. A lot of fun that way. I don't really need to show it on other killers because you can kind of transfer that to whoever you want. And then when it comes to survivors, I don't even know which one we have her up right now. We got Ace here. So right now we're messing around with it. It's made for this build. But Lithe is just good, right? You can throw it in with Windows for a nice little chase combo. And we have Bond and healing, so we have some heals and some info. You can also run it with just a whole bunch of perks that help keep you alive. Then an exhaustion perk. Boom, you're good. You've got this after you get off the hook, as well as this. You have this for endgame. So a lot of second chances. And then Lithe to just make you hard to catch in the first place. Just a very solid perk, kind of interchangeable with Sprint Burst at this point, as like your 2 easiest to use, most applicable exhaustion perks. Solid perk, you're gonna want it. So we'll hop back in the store and we'll give our last kind of shot here. But basically, our thoughts are probably skipping these 2 up the ante and Shadowborn unless they really scream out to you. Blood Warden and Lithe. Lithe, you definitely want A plus top tier meta perk. Blood Warden's a lot of fun, so if it appeals to you, grab that one. It is also from a licensed chapter, so Blood Warden's probably the number 1 for Eerie Shard spending, even though Lithe is a better perk. But a lot of people are going to have Lithe. A lot of console players are going to have Lithe available to them just with blood points, and you also can use the iridescent shards just to grab Fang, who's got an absolute crap ton of cosmetics and is a fan favorite, so you might have her already, and you can just unlock them that way. So we'll throw our thoughts back up here real quick. But I'm Smig. I'm signing out of here now. But I appreciate you guys stopping in and spending some time with us. Hopefully, this was a little bit helpful for you. And hopefully, we see you in the comments, on stream, or sometime in the fog. If you guys like the content, please hit that subscribe button. We've been a little slow growing the channel. We got a lot of views, not a lot of subscribers, so we would appreciate that. It helps us continue to grow. But hopefully you found this useful. We'll keep doing these as the event continues on. Try not to miss any days. I know we missed last night because of 4th of July festivities and we were just zonked out. But appreciate you guys and take care.